Hey guys, this is Richard Scatlin with Remount Horsemanship. I got an email the other day about someone asking how would you go about opening a gate from Horseback. And it's a perfect timing because this is a 13-year-old very green horse that I have in for training. And he's opened a gate with me once several days ago, so today would be a good time to get it on film and kind of show you what to work through and how you can kind of expect it to look. It's not always pretty and perfect the first bunch of times you do it, but you just kind of keep working at it and it gets better as you go. Some things that you got to have if you want to open a gate is you have to be able to control your horse's forward motion. So you have to be able to have that horse, when you pick up on the reins, they kind of feel back towards you and they don't leak out the front when you pick up the reins. Another thing that you probably should have going for you is you ought to be able to slide down the rein, tip the nose to the right, slide your right leg back, and have him, with a little bit of control, step that hind end over. Tip your nose to the left, slide your left leg back, and bring the hips to the right. So you can start to operate your horse's front end and hind end independently of the other. When I'm talking to the front end of the horse, say I want to go right, I'll take my left leg off, I'll open up my right rein, and I'll push them with my left rein and my left leg until they step over, right and left. A lot of times we end up riding two-handed with the snaffle bit. When you're opening a gate or when you're roping, or if you want to get handy on your horses, you're going to want to start to ride one-handed. And the best way to do that, if you're set up with a McCarty setup like this, is spread your hands out wide like that till your reins are even. Close your right hand around the rein and then turn it as if you're turning the throttle on a motorcycle. And then bring your hands together. And that makes a nice little, what they call a California loop or a California roll, and you can hold it one-handed. And then you can start to operate your horse's hind end to the right, your horse's hind end to the left. Bring that front end through, just using one hand. Generally, when I open a gate, I want to have my horse's hips or butt facing the hinges. On this gate, being in a corner, it's a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to do it just whatever works best for me and this horse. So walk on up here. Stop them at the gate. Once you stop them, kind of hesitate. Let them get kind of comfortable just standing by the gate. Back them up a step. Now when I bend down to undo this latch, and I have a string tied to this gate, all of the gates around here have strings tied to them, so it's easier to maintain control of the gate. But when I bend down to undo the gate, watch my left arm. My left arm's going to stay down on my horn. That way if the horse spooks and goes left, my arm's locked on that horn, so I'll go with him as opposed to being dumped over the right side when he goes left. It's unlatched, made some noises, so you wait. Anytime your horse gets tight and tense, you just want to wait for him. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to side pass him by pulling the gate towards us. And that's why you want to have control of your horse's hind end and front end so you can move him sideways. So I have a hold of the string. My reins are going to try to control his forward motion. I'm going to open that gate best I can. Now I'll have him back up, and as I back up, I'll bring his front end around towards the camera so we clear the gate. Now I'll start backing him up. String comes in handy. Now I'll drive him forward and latch the gate. So he was kind of wanting to escape backwards, so I was driving him forward. Once the gate's shut, then we stand still and we just hang out by the gate. So he starts to learn that all these little maneuvers that he's doing aren't such a bad thing because he gets a rest. Now that I don't have a corner, I don't have a fence right there, now I can keep his butt to the hinges and kind of open a gate how I like to do it. So I'll just walk him up, stop him at the hinges, left arm goes over the horn, and I wait. So now I'll just slide my right leg back, tip his nose to the right, get his hips out of the way so I can swing this gate open. Bring the front end through, ask him to go forward. Catch the gate, move his hip. And now what I'll do is I'll back him up to where those hinges, or towards where the latch is. And we just stand still. So some keys to being able to open a gate is not having your horse run through your hands. If your horse is starting to back up on you, you have to bring your legs in and drive them up forward. Be able to operate the front end independently of the hind end, so you can move the front end and the hind end and the front end and the hind end, because that's all a side pass is. And do small hesitations. So when you get to the gate, hesitate, pet on them, let them know they're doing the right thing. Open the gate, be smooth. It's not always going to be pretty, but that's this guy's second time opening the gate. And that went really well. I'm actually very happy with that. But some of the things that set us up for success was just working on those isolations, not running through the bit, responding to my legs when I ask him forward, yielding the hind end and the front end independently, and putting lots of hesitations in my maneuvers, so when I move that hind end, he doesn't make an assumption just to automatically move the forehand. So that's kind of how I would open a gate on a horse. This is the second time. He did really well. If you have any more questions, shoot me an email. Contact us on our Remount Horsemanship page on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Have a great day and stay safe.